Introduction of bills and concurrent resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill number 2392 by the Committee on Veterans and Military, an act concerning veterans and military, updating the Kansas Code of Military Justice relating to certain definitions, unlawful acts, and punishment requirements thereof. House Bill number 2393 by the Committee on Welfare Reform, an act concerning public assistance relating to the Secretary for Children and Families, directing the Secretary to enter agreements with state agencies for the continuous review and comparison of data for public assistance eligibility, requiring the Secretary to review federal sources to verify such eligibility. House Bill number 2394 by the Committee on Welfare Reform, an act concerning public assistance related to energy assistance and housing assistance, requiring the Secretary for Children and Families to develop a low-income energy assistance program and the Secretary for Aging and Disability Services to develop a program for unhoused individuals to find and secure affordable housing, determining eligibility for such programs. House Bill number 2395 by the Committee on Judiciary, an act concerning the Open Records Act relating to public records, continuing in existence certain exceptions to the disclosure thereof. House Bill number 2396 by the Committee on Judiciary, an act concerning the Kansas Standard Asset Seizure and Forfeiture Act, requiring a conviction prior to forfeiture, remitting proceeds to the state general fund, requiring proof beyond a reasonable doubt that property is subject to forfeiture, requiring seizing agencies to make forfeiture reports more often. House Bill number 2397 by the Committee on Agriculture and Natural Resources, an act concerning real property relating to the conveyance thereof, prohibiting the conveyance of title to certain real property to foreign adversaries, establishing criminal penalties, therefore, requiring the Attorney General to investigate such conveyances. House Bill number 2398 by the Committee on Corrections and Juvenile Justice, an act concerning crimes, punishment, and criminal procedure relating to crimes involving controlled substances, adding the placing of controlled substances into pills into the definition of manufacture, increasing the criminal penalties for manufacturing fentanyl-related controlled substances, creating a special sentencing rule for distributing fentanyl-related controlled substances. House Bill number 2399 by the Committee on Commerce and Labor and Economic Development, an act concerning labor and employment, providing protections for freelance workers, including payment within 30 days unless otherwise contractually specified, requiring written contracts, forbidding clients from demanding reductions in compensation for timely payment, prohibiting retaliation against freelance workers who seek payment, authorizing the Secretary of Labor to investigate alleged violations and the Attorney General to enforce orders against violators and setting forth penalties for such violations. House Bill number 2400 by the Committee on Commerce and Labor and Economic Development, an act concerning workforce development, enacting the Kansas Adult Learner Grant Act, establishing a grant program for adult learners to pursue certain fields of study, providing for workforce retention incentive programs. House Bill number 2401 by the Committee on Commerce, Labor, and Economic Development, an act concerning employment security law relating to the definition of benefit year and temporary unemployment, requiring electronic filing of wage reports, contribution returns and payments, and interest assessments for employers with 25 or more employees, permitting the exercise of discretion in the number of appointments and lengths of term with respect to the temporarily expanded Employment Security Board of Review members, extending when the mandatory combination of rates and the establishment of a new account due to a business acquisition must occur from the beginning of the following quarter to the beginning of the following year. House Bill number 2402 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning self-service storage facilities, prohibiting such new facilities that are located within 1,000 feet of a child care facility or school. House Bill number 2403 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act regarding firearms relating to the storage of firearms and stun guns, creating certain crimes dealing with improper storage. House Bill number 2404 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning environmental, social, and governance standards involving contracts, investments, and business practices relating to ideological boycotts or other discriminatory conduct, enacting the Kansas Protection of Pensions and Businesses Against Ideological Interference Act, directing the Board of Trustees of the Kansas Public Employees Retirement System to divest from investments with entities engaged in ideological boycotts, establishing conditions and procedures for divestment, requiring the state treasurer to publish a list of financial companies and financial institutions engaged in ideological boycotts, authorizing the state treasurer to disqualify listed financial institutions from receiving deposit of state monies, prohibiting governmental contracts without written verification that a contractor is not engaged in ideological boycotts, directing fiduciaries of governmental plans that provide retirement benefits, defer employee income, or investment taxpayer monies to act only in financial interest of such plans. House Bill number 2405 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning legal tender, establishing the Kansas Legal Tender Act, reaffirmation of gold and silver coin as legal tender, providing an income taxation subtraction modification for gains from the sale of specie. House Bill number 2406 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning the Personal and Family Protection Act, prohibiting the collection of personal information regarding off-duty law enforcement officers entering buildings or requiring the officer to wear anything identifying the person as a law enforcement officer or being armed. Oh, okay.
Wait, hang on.
Oh,
Second.
okay.
Go ahead and put that in.
Finally, House Bill number 2407 by the Committee on Child Welfare and Foster Care, an act concerning students related to non-academic questionnaires, eliminating the requirement for parental consent for a student to participate in a non-academic questionnaire, allowing for notice of a non-academic questionnaire to be administered.
Messages from the Senate. The clerk will read.
Okay. Announcing passage of Senate Bills 11, 14, 15, 17, 19, 26, 39, 42. Announcing adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution 1603. Senate Concurrent Resolution 1603 by Senators Fagg, Alley, and others, a concurrent resolution urging the President of the United States to consider current geopolitical tensions and support policies to ensure America's long-term energy affordability, security, and leadership and progress. Senate Bill number 11. An act by Senator Bowers, an act concerning the state capitol, reauthorizing the permanent placement of a life-size version of the Ad Astra sculpture on state capitol grounds, transferring approval authority to the Capitol Preservation Committee, making concerning appropriations for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023 for the Department of Administration. Senate Bill number 14 by the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to risk-based capital requirements, updating the version of instructions in effect. Senate Bill number 15 by the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to penalties, failure of agents or brokers to pay premiums, removing the requirement of a documented written demand for premiums as part of a prima facie case. No. Senate Bill number 17 by the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to prepaid service plans, certificates of registration, discontinuing annual registration fees for such plans, modifying the requirement to report individuals who solicit memberships on behalf of such plans from semi-annually to annually and upon application for registration. Senate Bill number 19 by the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to premium tax, adjusting the basis upon which certain premium tax calculations are made, requiring such premium taxes to be paid 90 days after each calendar year, and bringing such premium taxes upon the gross premium collected for the previous calendar year. Senate Bill number 26 by the Committee on Financial Institutions and Insurance, an act concerning insurance relating to health maintenance organizations and Medicare provider organizations, applications for certificates of authority specifying certain requirements necessary to demonstrate fiscal soundness. Senate Bill number 39 by the Committee on Federal and State Affairs, an act concerning the state capitol relating to permanent displays and murals, directing the Capitol Preservation Committee to develop and approve plans for a mural honoring the 1st Kansas Colored Voluntary Infantry Regiment, creating the 1st Kansas Colored Voluntary Infantry Regiment Mural Fund. Senate Bill number 42 by the Joint Committee on Special Claims Against the State, an act concerning certain claims against the state, making appropriations, authorizing certain transfers, imposing certain restrictions and limitations, directing or authorizing certain disbursements, procedures, and acts incidental to the foregoing.
Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Committee on Commerce, Labor, and Economic Development recommends House Bill 2234 be amended. The bill be passed as amended.
Are there announcements? Representative Nguyen replaces Representative Alcala on the House Appropriations Committee on February 10th for 1 day only. The Speaker recognizes the Majority Leader for a motion to recess.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until 11 a.m. Go Chiefs.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. The House is in recess. Introduction of bills and concurrent resolutions, the clerk will read.
House Bill number 2408 by the Committee on Health and Human Services, an act concerning health and healthcare relating to the practice of barbering and cosmetology, exempting adult care homes from statutes governing barbering and cosmetology facilities. House Bill number 2409 by the Committee on Judiciary, an act concerning family law, enacting the Kansas Uniform Parentage Act, repealing the Kansas Parenting Act.
Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Committee on Veterans and Military recommends House Bill 2210 be passed.
The Speaker recognizes the Majority Leader for a motion to adjourn.
Let's make sure I get the right day. Mr. Speaker, I move the House adjourns until Monday, February 13th at 11 a.m. Pro forma. Go Chiefs.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.